Florida continues to post some of the worst pandemic stats in the nation. As of today, Florida has 11,515 people hospitalized with COVID. That's the third straight record-breaking number, beating the worst we had last year. It's also 11 times more people in the hospital than Florida had in mid-June. About 2,400 people are in intensive care right now, and right now Florida is averaging more than 17,000 new COVID cases a day.
In a tweet, Senator Marco Rubio says this is all, quote, media hysteria, and that vaccinated people don't have to worry. But that's not exactly what doctors are saying. Governor DeSantis continues to say it's because of the heat, and once it's more comfortable for people to spend more time outside, the number of cases will go down. That's also not what doctors are saying. CBS 4's Carly Barnett is live in Fort Lauderdale with more. Carly?
Lauren, Elliott, we are outside of the Broward School Board. They still have a meeting going on, and the topic of the meeting today is budgets. But one of the state senators showed up because he said he had a message to deliver to the school board, and that is if they choose, they do have the power to decide for themselves whether or not to enact a mask mandate.
The start of the school year is just 2 weeks away in Broward County as cases and hospitalizations keep going up. State Senator Gary Farmer went to the Broward School Board meeting Tuesday to speak on the question of the mask mandate.
School districts are still free to decide on their own whether they want to require masks or not.
Last week, the Broward School Board voted to make masks mandatory in school buildings, but they reversed that decision and made them optional after Governor Ron DeSantis came out with an executive order that prevented any mask mandates in schools.
His executive order is a gross overstep of his legal authority. The Florida Constitution specifically vests the power and authority to make education decisions in the local school boards. That's what they're here for.
Senator Farmer, who is an attorney, also says the governor's threat to pull school funding from districts that enact mask mandates is not in accordance with state law.
Florida law says that state agencies, when they make a rule, cannot put a penalty in that rule unless it has been specifically approved by the Florida legislature.
Florida hits a new high for COVID patients in the hospital. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services says there are more than 11,500 COVID patients in Florida hospitals right now. That's up from Sunday's high of 10,207.
We follow that very closely. It went up very sharply throughout most of July. Towards the end of last month, it started to stabilize. We've basically been plateau, so we're looking to see that roll over.
During a news conference at the Everglades, the governor acknowledged the rising hospitalizations, but believed it would be leveling off. When asked about 7 children hospitalized with COVID at Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital and thoughts on masks for children, the governor fired back and did not address the question of masks.
You're blaming the kids, saying they weren't wearing masks and so they're in the ICU. With all due respect, I find that deplorable, to blame a victim who ends up being hospitalized. You don't know their story.
Based on a survey conducted last week, the Florida Hospital Association says 96% of those hospitalized with COVID across the state are unvaccinated.
The state senator brought that topic up in the public comment portion of the meeting, so there really hasn't been any mask discussion since then. And he says he doesn't know if this will enable the school board to change their mind, but he said he did want to at least offer another perspective. Live in Fort Lauderdale, Carly Barnett, CBS 4 News.